Okay, now it's recording.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right. So, I guess some background on this challenge. This was one where we just had a link to a download, which then got this zip file here. So if I open it up, we'll see that we have 3 files to work with: fsdata, datashim, and wall. So let me go into there. And the first thing that I did was I opened up Vim to look through here and saw a bunch of junk, but also some interesting things here. Like I've got a file name, and it looks like I've got the data for that file. So I was looking through here, got distracted a bit because it looks like this is the source code for another challenge. But when I eventually came back, I noticed this is a SQLite 3 format. If I do a file on this guy, yep, SQLite 3 database. If I do it on the shim, it just says data. And on the wall, it is a SQLite write-ahead log. I did a little bit of Googling around. It turns out that the SHM is a temporary file for SQLite, and the WAL is, like this says, the write-ahead log, which is basically SQLite's way of handling commits and stuff like that, so transactions. It holds all of the transactions that haven't been actually written to the database yet. And this guy, this fsdata wall, has some data in it. So we know that this database file is not completely up to date. So if I do a SQLite and open up this fsdata, and I can look at the schema, and we have 3 tables. It's metadata, value data, and meta index. So metadata isn't really too interesting. If I look at it, it's got a bunch of file names and some other extra stuff, probably dealing with like access level and like create time, update time, stuff like that. The more interesting one is this value data. So if I select star from value data, we see we have a file name, some extra bit that seems to be 0 for most, if not all of these, and then the file contents. So now I've got a SQLite database. I have with the table that has the file name and the file data. I somehow need to read this and put it into files on the file system so I can look at it a little bit easier. And by doing those selects, it actually, if I exit out, you'll see that this goes down to 0 bytes because it had to write everything to the database file to do those selects or something like that. So now I've got those file names and file contents. I need to get them onto the file system somehow. I've written a small script to do that in Node.js. So let me copy these guys over here and do an npm install. It's only one package, so it should be pretty quick. All right, and let me run my index.js. So if I open up index.js here, just to show it, it's just a simple script. Got some packages here. Here's loading up the fsdata file. Down here is where it actually creates the connection. Select statement, this callback gets called for each row. I'm going to make each directory, or the directories leading up to it, and then write the data into into that file. Just a simple script. But now if I go into here, and I purposely put it into repo and so it doesn't like write over anything here. I've got this easy XSS1, which has source, and it should also have a git ignore somewhere, or a .git somewhere in here. It's interesting that it didn't show easy XSS. So if you can see from my terminal, it is a Git repository. So if I git log, I've got one commit here. Git status, I'm on developer branch, so git branch -L. I've got two branches, master and develop. If I check out master, git log, it is the exact same commit as was on develop. And if I grab this quick command from over here, this is just going to search through all of the files for this SB CTF, which is a substring of the flag that we're looking for. Nothing gets returned. So I've got this Git repository. It doesn't have very much useful information, but I have a bit more knowledge of Git. I know that Git, you can have commits that no longer are pointed to by any branch. But so I can see those extra commits through the ref log. So let me git ref log. And hey, we've got a commit with the message added new flag. So let's check out that commit. And if we git log, we see, yep, we've got that new flag, some Docker config stuff. And if I run my search again, I've now got a flag equals this guy. All right, any questions?
As someone who hasn't gone to one of these capture the flag events, do you then submit git history shares something?
Yeah, so each of the flags were in the format for this one, SBCTF, and then some random text inside curly braces. There was a form that we submitted, like a website, and this would have counted as, this one was the second highest point value, so this one was 450 points. Most of the challenges were like 100 points.
Yeah, so this one was a big deal for us. Whatever place we were into third, so this definitely helped out a lot. A lot of creativity to get that, so that's really cool.
That's awesome. It looks like a lot of fun. Nice work.
Cool, let's go ahead and end the recording.
All right.